Hey guys, it's Trombola here. I want to tell you about one of our sponsors, Ventive Mobile. It's an in your pocket, in your car, or in your home. Ventive Mobile creates premium mobile device accessories that work for you. Head over to their website at mobileaccessories.ventive.com.
Welcome, Average Joe Nation from around the globe. Props to you for staying up to date and keeping in the know. Fantasy football, man, very soon you'll reign. The knowledge that these three guys have, man, it is insane. Fantasy football talk, hateful eight, they wear the crown. Hold it down, Pickle, Blackburn, and Tromboli, hold it down. Pulling up to LB Design Studio, we're getting loud. Season 2, headphones on, red light go, break it down.
Welcome back, guys, to the Hateful Eight Fantasy Football Podcast with your host. I'm Pickle. With me, as always, Blackburn.
What up?
And Tromboli.
What's going on?
We have a great show this week planned for you guys. We're going to go over some of our personal 2017 draft busts. I know it is 2018 season, but you always got to remember your heartbreak from 2017. Well, your previous year heartbreaks.
True.
So, also, we're going to get into some fantasy news and notes, and there's not a whole lot of exciting stuff, but it's still, there are some relevant fantasy stuff that you kind of keep an eye on. But we do have our Facebook and Twitter accounts available for you guys to follow us. It's at the Hateful 8FF. Starting to get some more activity on there now that the off season's starting to ramp up a little bit post free agent signing. So, do you guys have anything else before we get into some fantasy news and notes?
Nope. Let's
Nope.
roll.
Let's do
All
it.
right, fantasy news and notes.
Fantasy news and notes.
Fantasy news and notes presented by Body Armor Super Drink. Superior hydration for today's athletes. Check them out at drinkbodyarmor.com.
Peach mango.
Blackburn made sure that he brought his peach mango and his favorite team's helmet as well. So
He's all ready.
he's at home now. So first one out the gate, not exciting, but it is what it is. Cody Kessler traded to the Jags, so he's now Blake Bortles' backup officially.
Can't believe anyone wanted to trade for him.
Well, you know,
Late round pick next year. I mean, they didn't really give up much.
no, but it is what it is, I guess. I mean, they needed somebody in case he goes down for injury purposes. But Benjamin Watson signs with the Saints. So ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the free agent tight end Benjamin Watson. Wow, that was a tongue twister. Not really. Reading sometimes is hard for me. Has agreed to terms on a one-year deal with the New Orleans Saints. So he went back to his previous team, which he actually had a pretty good tenure, I guess, when he was with them. But
Yeah, that last season he was there. He had a very good year.
well, I think that got him a pretty decent contract the following year as he left. But yeah, I mean, I guess it is. They don't really have a true tight end right now. I mean, they wanted to bring in Jimmy Graham back, but it didn't work out. So
Nope.
I think they're kind of scrambling. My best guess, they're probably going to draft a tight end.
Oh, for sure.
That would be my best guess as to what they're gonna hope that they get another.
I'm just disappointed the Kobe Fleener experiment hasn't paid off.
Yeah, I agree.
It's almost non-existent.
Right.
He is a good tight end. It's just he's just not translating to the NFL for some reason. Not sure why, but David Johnson expected to be ready for OTAs. So apparently he was post with wrist surgery and everything. He's expected to be ready for OTAs. There was talks he might come back last year. I think had the Cardinals been in the playoff hunt, I think he would have pushed it to get back. But had Carson Palmer been healthy,
There we go.
and
Now I agree
and
with
they're
you.
in the playoff talks, I think that we would have seen David Johnson try to push it to get back last year, but I think it was for the best.
He's all they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Like, for real. If Sam Bradford gets hurt, it's over.
well, yeah. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald's still going to get his, but he's not going to put up like.
Well, Sam Bradford's going to get hurt, so we're going to find that out real soon.
As I say, yeah, he is going to get hurt at some point, I'm sure. Walking down the hallway from the quarterback room to the weight room. I mean, but this one's a big one. Andrew Luck actually finally begins throwing a football.
About time.
I mean, how long has it been since? I mean, it's been almost
A year and a half.
It's been a year and a half,
Yeah.
right? That's, I don't know, man. That's a long time to not be.
Listen, until I see him throw in maybe a preseason game or a regular season game, he ain't back till then.
True. Well, there was a lot of talks he might be back last year at different points of the year, and
Right.
it just never came to fruition. So,
Yes.
Let's see. Odell Beckham Jr. threatens to hold out and has stated as of today that he would like to play for the Rams.
Yeah, he told 2 Rams
So-
players that he wouldn't mind playing with them.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, he's gonna eat their cap space left.
I think, we were talking about, I said he's got they got like 28 million.
Yeah, but here's the key.
But-
You sign an Odell Beckham. You got Todd Gurley coming up for a contract. You're going to have Jared Goff coming up for a
Yep.
contract. You're not going to be able to afford all those guys.
This is true. Well, we'll see.
But and the Giants want 2 first-round picks
Yeah.
for OBJ.
He's.
I mean,
Don't get me wrong. OBJ is talented. However, there's a lot of off the field things that are coming
Exactly.
about now. That it's a poor timing. You got a guy who's, I mean, he's not to his prime yet. He's still climbing to a potential elite wide receiver status. He's not elite. He is a top 5 talent wide receiver in the NFL right now when he is on the field. But, he has off the field issues coming up out of the place now, and he is coming off of an injury as well. It's poor timing. Injury, this incident off the field that this video has been posted, and he's trying to get more money. It's not a good time for him.
No, I mean, the timing's wrong. I think he's elite talent-wise.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah, off the field issues, just that completely blows everything.
Well, I think it just sets him back,
Yeah, but
unfortunately.
would that personality clash with everything else that's already there now? I mean, they brought in Peters. and
They've
Sue.
already-
I mean,
they've
that's
al-
already guys that own the locker room.
Talib.
And then Odell. Yeah, Talib. There you go. And then you
just-
bring in Odell. Holy.
Well, I was just saying, you got, like you said, you've got Peters and you got Talib, who are going to probably be a tag team of just trash talking the whole time. I mean, no one's going to go and bother Ndamukong now. I mean, no one's going to bother him because, let's just be honest, he's just a man among boys out there, and he just looks like a grown.
Well, him, Aaron Donald, and Michael Brockers all together, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a strong defensive line. Not to mention, I mean, then you've got the back half with
Right.
Peters and Talib. I'm just saying that they're not.
Listen, I feel bad for any running back that's got to go against them. David Johnson,
Well, that's what I
Cannon. Good luck.
Well, that's why I sent that picture in the group chat or the group text. It was like Sam Bradford's reaction. I mean, he thought he was going to go out to Arizona, kind of live the life, and then the Rams just keep stockpiling defensive players, like good ones. And that's when I put that like gif of that whatever that ABC News guy saying I pooped my pants. I'm just like, I mean, that's literally got to be his reaction because he's already not, like you said, he's already an injury prone guy, a legit injury prone guy, and now he's going to be playing against this defense twice a year. Not to mention some of the other good defenses that are out that way too. So
Yep.
he picked like one of the worst defensive, he picked one of the better defensive conferences honestly to play in. Let's be honest. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we
but
all
when,
know.
when he picked that, none of them free agents had signed with LA
True.
yet.
True.
He was like,
Very
oh
true.
no.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was just
no.
sitting there like,
Talib?
another
no.
one.
Oh no, Marcus Peters.
Another one.
Oh no. Oh, and Ndamukong Suh as well. Oh man.
I don't know how many people you really think were asking, calling him. So he probably just took whatever was the best
Right.
deal. So
He was either there or Cleveland. Just saying.
Probably. Let's see.
well, they're signing everyone. So I mean, just sign up.
I mean, if you think about it, going back to OBJ, I think they're the ones with the most draft capital and cap space to actually pull a deal off.
True.
Yeah.
Because I've heard rumors of maybe swapping the 1 and 2 pick with Cleveland and Giants
Yeah.
and them sending the 4 and OBJ with it.
Say that again.
The Giants and Browns would switch spots first and second. So the Giants would then have the number 1 overall pick. In return, the Giants send the Browns OBJ, and Cleveland would send the 4 pick to New York.
So they'd swap pick 1
So they're
and 2,
giving up 1 and 4, and they're going. They're
and
going.
then Odell gets swapped for the 4.
And they'll get 2 and OBJ.
That's not a bad deal. I mean, they're kind of building that offense finally. I mean,
It just depends on if they really wanted Darnold, because I think
Right.
New York wants Darnold.
yeah,
right.
I know that's their number one. At least what I'm reading and hearing.
So if Cleveland isn't in love with Sam Darnold and they can live with Josh Allen or Rosen, would you do that?
Listen, I'm not.
I mean, think about that lineup though. You'd have Jarvis Landry, OBJ, Josh Gordon,
Coleman,
Corey Coleman,
and Njoku.
David Njoku, Carlos Hyde, Duke Johnson, and Tyrod Taylor.
I mean, that's like your created Madden team
True.
that you play for.
Well, I mean, Coleman's going to be out of that equation. If OBJ comes,
Well, I mean, he's still a
Coleman's
fourth
out.
receiver. Yeah, I get it, but
Right.
I mean,
But you really think about it. Look at the big picture. I mean, Corey Coleman is your 4th wide receiver.
True.
That's not bad.
No.
no. And they have the draft. The cap space to be able to handle that.
True.
I
And
listen.
they still have 3 second-round picks.
It sounds for fantasy purposes, and if we were playing a video game right now, it sounds great. But personally, for me, I'd love to see them stay where they're at, get that quarterback, and get an offensive lineman out of it. That's
True.
my 1-4.
I just want OBJ out of the NFC East.
I don't blame you on that.
So, well, Drew Stanton signs with the Browns. So he is, since they shipped out Kessler and Kaiser, now he is the backup to Tyrod until they draft somebody, and then
For a month.
then there'll be some sort of battle, and then the guy who gets drafted will be the backup quarterback. So
Right.
let's see. On to the next one. I think I actually hold on. Do I have this? Do I have it? I thought I had a drop for this. Yeah, I do. Hold on.
Boo!
Sorry, I had to intro this one. Alan Hearns signs a 2-year deal with the Cowboys. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Cowboys have signed the free agent Alan Hearns to a 2-year contract. I like it.
So let me ask you this, resident Cowboys fan.
Yes.
Does this signing mean the end of Des Bryant?
I think it puts Dez in a corner. I don't think it. Let's put it this way. I think prior to this signing, I think Dez had some traction where he had some ground where he could put his foot down and say, you got nobody else. Terrence Williams, Switzer, Beasley, because they didn't bring back Butler yet.
No, he's still a free agent.
So my point is your best wide receivers are complimentary guys, and Dez knows that. And even Dez at the point of his career now, even though he's not an elite top 5 wide receiver, he still is talented, more talented than the other guys that are on that roster, let's be honest. So he had some footing to say, you got nobody else at this point. So
Right.
What are you going to do? So when they brought Alan Hearns in, I don't think it doesn't, to me as a Cowboys fan, it doesn't tell me that, hey, this is ultimatum, this is Dez's whatever, swan song, he's out. It just tells me that now the Jones family basically has Dez in a corner saying, hey, if you don't take a pay cut, we've already got a guy who's younger than you, who's in our opinion as talented or can be as talented as you, and we got him for 2 years. Plus we're gonna go draft a DJ Moore, which that's been told. DJ Moore has been rumored he's got a workout with them either this week or next week. Plus, I mean, they've said that they like Cortland Sutton out of SMU. So, I mean, they've made it very clear they want a wide receiver for the future. So this pretty much puts Dez in a corner like either you take the pay cut or we're going to cut you and or trade you. And you.
Well, that's what I read yesterday on Twitter. I forget the source that it was on, but they said that if they cut Des Bryant, it's going to be more than likely after the draft because they're planning on drafting a receiver.
Right. So I think it'll come down to which receiver they end up getting.
I mean, have they taken trade offers? I mean, I haven't heard anything around that.
No, they're not taking trade offers. They'll probably just cut him so he can go sign with whoever.
Right. That's what they'll end up doing, my guess. If they do trade or do end up letting him go, that's what will end up happening. But my ultimatum, I think this puts Dez in a bad spot. I don't think Dez has the upper hand like he did prior to this signing. I think I think he's now going to be like, he's truly got to be weighing his options and talking to his agent saying, should I take a pay cut? I want to stay with Dallas. Here's the thing. If he wants to stay with Dallas, he'll take a pay cut. If he wants money, he'll go somewhere else. If he wants to potentially win, because with Dez in there, now you got Alan Hearns, you've got Rico Gathers coming in to potentially fill in the backup to Witten's when Witten ever decides to be done. But they're going to go offensive line as well. They've brought in some offensive linemen in the free agency thing, which was a good thing. So, I mean, the defense is going to be healthy, finally, front seven-wise. So, I just think that the team as a whole is moving to the positive, finally, this year as a health at this moment. I think Dez needs to decide, does he want to be on a winning team or does he want to make money? Because I don't think there's not many winning teams right now unless, like, you're Cleveland or somebody that's got a ton of – Cleveland is on that cusp, in my opinion, where they could be a winning team this year, depending on how well they do. I know that sounds cliche, how well they do, but they have the potential to be a potential wild card team this year with that offense that they've got. And if OBJ doesn't work out, they could always bring in Dez. Then you got Dez, Gordon, Landry, Coleman. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not OBJ, but it's not bad. But that's the thing. Dez is not going to find a team out there that's going to be able to pay him the money that he wants and be a winning team now.
Dez would be cheaper anyway, probably less of a headache.
True.
Well, that's what I was thinking. So you think the Rams might be interested in that?
That
If he gets cut, like it all depends on what Cowboys do in the draft. If they end up with a Ridley or DJ or whoever,
Right.
then yeah, Dez will probably be gone after the draft, or he'll get traded on day 2 or whatever, for a mid-round pick to a team that wants him.
Right. It's all going to be it's going to come down to the draft. But I guess all I was trying to make the point was with Alan Hearn signing, that puts Dez no longer has the upper hand in the contract.
Yeah,
talks.
it helps the Cowboys out. It says we can do this with or without you.
Yeah, it's your choice. Do you want to be with us? Do you want to really be a Cowboy? Because you're going to take a pay cut. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and just cut you and let you go somewhere else. So
Again, like OBJ, I'd like to see Dez Bryant out of the NFC East as well.
all right, final one for the day. We got Terrell Pryor signs with the Jets. It's a little bit older. I mean, it's last week, but we had already recorded before last when this dropped. So, but he ended up signing what was that, a 2-year deal, I believe, with it was a 1-year deal with the Jets. It was kind of another play.
Yeah, it's a 1-year, $5 million deal. So
With I think it's like $5 million guaranteed and like up to $8 million I think is what it is fully if he performance wise. But let's be honest, at least it's guaranteed $5 million. So we'll see.
Well, he sucked last year in Washington. I'm just going to throw that out.
He
Yeah.
did
He dropped a lot of passes.
when he was healthy.
Don't
Yeah.
worry. He'll be brought up later.
So
I mean, he's the definition of the bust. I mean, come on.
this is true. All right, let's get into the next segment for today. It's going to be the draft bust for 2017.
Fantasy Draft Table.
All right, Fantasy Draft Table presented by Fantasy Fate Ball, the one and only Magic 8 Ball for fantasy football. 20 custom answers to help you make those critical start-sit decisions and end the Sunday morning agony. Head over to fantasyfateball.com. Got anything?
No, it's right there, though.
Here.
There it is.
So everybody doesn't wonder what it is. All right. Let's see. So, Blackburn, why don't you get into your your 2017 draft bust?
All right. My guys, for my quarterback, I got Jameis Winston for the Buccaneers. Running back, I got Mike Galeese,
Ooh.
Patriots. And bringing up the rear at wide receiver, Amari Cooper for the Raiders.
AKA drops a lot.
Yeah. Going back to Jameis Winston here, his 2017 ADP was 7th ranked quarterback. He finished 2017 as the 22nd quarterback, and this year he's the 19th. I mean, he finished the 2016 season. He didn't do bad. He had 4,090 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 18 picks. So really not that bad.
I think it was his off-the-field issues. Well, I shouldn't say off-the-field. His on-the-field issues where he picked fights and was doing these ridiculous pre-games. I just don't think the team bought in, truthfully.
Yeah.
It's between the ears for him. That's all it is. He's got the talent. He's got everything, but he can be a mess to
Well,
himself.
they said that on Hard Knocks. If you watch the show Hard Knocks, they said it was in his head the whole time. The coaches did.
So,
But, I mean, they already had Mike Evans, who led the NFL in receiving in 2016. You got Cameron Brate. They added Deshaun Jackson and free agency and drafted O.J. Howard to go along. So there was no excuse why he didn't perform. I mean, he only missed 3 games. Doug Martin came back, but that run game just looked terrible.
true. Jameis Winston, he was one of our guys that we really thought was going to take that next step. Him and Mariota, and neither one of them did.
Yeah, in our bold prediction show, remember last year I had Jameis in my top 5.
I mean,
He should have been.
he should have been. He had everything there. It was on a platter for him to eat. Not like crab legs eat, but
Donuts.
no. Okay. Thought that was funny. Anyways, awkward. I just think that he is a head case, I think. And then, like you said, I think ultimately it's going to come down to whether he wants to be good or not. Is he going to push himself physically and mentally to get over that hump to be successful? Because he has the talent around him to be successful. He just chooses. I don't know. I mean, there were just some throws where he just stepped back and it looked like a kid in high school who just didn't know what he was doing out there. Sometimes he just threw a ball off the back foot and it wasn't accurate. And some of the coverages he threw into, and you're just like, come on. I mean, I could see it. I could see that this was going to be a pick, but
You can get away with some of that in college, and I think that's what he's trying to do is just play.
Right.
And it's not like that anymore.
no.
Well, a lot of that was his offensive line, too.
Well, true.
2016, he scored 256 fantasy points.
Yeah.
This year, or this past year, 201. So he cut his interceptions down by 7, but Martin in the run game, 27th ranked run offense.
But yeah,
Garbage.
nobody was worried about the run
Right.
game.
So what they do, they played the pass. They were
They just
double
backed
teaming
off.
Mike Evans. He went from being the number 1 receiver in 2016 to the 20th best in 2017.
Ouch.
19 spots. That's a huge drop.
Yep.
So, well, who do you have for your running backs on this one?
Mike Gillies.
Gillisley.
Gillislee, whatever you say.
Hold on, you know what?
This guy sucks.
Yeah. Pretty much.
He was good week 1 and 2.
Yeah, well, I'll get into that. 2017 ADP, he was 25th. He finished 55th. This year's ADP, he's sitting at a nice 43. So, not too good. Finished 2016 as the 27th best running back behind LaShawn McCoy in Buffalo. Brought in to be the feature back in New England. Tom Brady's getting older. The Patriots said they wanted to emphasize the run game more. They were going to bring him in to be the guy. So he finished the 2017 season as the 55th best running back. 383 yards and 5 total touchdowns for a total of 68 points standard.
That's rough.
Yeah, he had 3 of his 5 touchdowns in the first game. And Deion Lewis and Rex Burkhead primarily, they carried the workload there. James White was sprinkled in a little
Right.
bit.
Deion Lewis disappeared. I mean, he's no longer there. Rex Burkhead is back, but it's
Right.
just
That's just the theme for New England running backs is they're good for a moment and then they're gone.
they
Someone
cycle
else
them,
is in.
recycle them like they're
get-
bottles.
We'll give you 3 games and then we'll move on to someone else.
Well, at least they gave him 1. But after that, he only he scored double digits 3 times all year.
That one game's
That's
all
it.
Ramsey needed. That one game.
This is true. Just needed that one game.
So, yeah, I mean, he was a big bust because he was getting all the hype coming in.
I'm not looking forward to him this coming
No.
up season either. So
And that brings us to my wide receiver, Amari Cooper.
Murray drops a lot. Cooper.
2017 ADP, he was going as the 10th wide receiver.
Yeah.
Finished 31st. This year, he's sitting at 17 right now. Finished 2016 as the 12th best receiver, 1,100 yards, 5 touchdowns, 150 fantasy points. Not bad.
Yeah.
Raiders were the 6th ranked offense in 2016. So that looked promising heading next year. They added Jared Cook at tight end and beast mode, and was supposed to be the breakout year for Amari Cooper. However,
He
Cooper
broke.
finished the 2017 as the 31st best receiver, 680 yards, 7 touchdowns for a total of 110 points. His best game was Week 7 against, I think it was Kansas City.
Yep.
33 points. He had 210 yards, 2 touchdowns. He only scored double-digit fantasy points in 4 games, and they went from the 6th best offense in 2016 to the 17th best in 2017, so middle of the road at best.
Yeah. Well, my quarterback, I've got Derek Carr, but I have a note about Amari Cooper, so I'll just say it now. Said he struggled all year, minus weeks 1, 17, 16, and 17, which week 17 is not a fantasy relevant week because most fantasy playoffs and championships are over by week 16.
Yep.
Went from a little over 1,100 receiving yards in 2016 to just under 700 at 668 receiving yards. Horrible, and a lot of it contributed to drops.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, big time.
I mean, his drop rate I couldn't find any stats specifically on like a drop percentage versus catch, but gosh, it had to be horrible. Because, I mean, it just seemed like every time the ball was thrown to him, and he had a lot of targets, still, it just was,
That whole offense, though, I mean, if you really watched Raider games, a lot of them dropped balls.
Yep.
oh, yeah, it was bad for
just a
Crabtree
thing.
as well.
Yeah, it was crazy.
The only guy that really was catching the pass was Cook. I mean, Jared Cook was like the only one that was doing well successfully in that passing game. So, Tremblay, who do you have in your stable?
Oh,
Maybe that was a poor choice of words. Who do you have as your 2017 draft from last year?
all right. My quarterback's Matt Ryan. My running back's Jay Ajayi. And the wide receiver is none other than Terrell Pryor.
Oh,
Yes.
oh man.
So starting off with Matty Ice here.
Oh,
His 2016 campaign was great. He finished as the 2nd overall quarterback, in the number 1 offense. We just had high hopes coming into 2017.
yeah.
He was preseason ranked number 4, and he finished number 15.
Yeah.
The problem with him is, where I see in fantasy purposes his drop is you had a lot of you had to draft him so high, you had to give up so much that you could have drafted before him.
True.
So with him taking him, or anyone who takes quarterbacks early, which by the way, in my opinion, is a bad move, they really hurt on this. I mean, Stark was a problem too. I mean, he couldn't move the ball at all.
I mean, Shanahan leaving probably wasn't
No.
helpful either.
He fell from 38 touchdowns to 20.
Yeah, because the running backs gobbled them all up.
Yep.
I mean, statistically, that was what we said in the offseason was that Shanahan was more of a passing
Yeah.
type offensive coordinator, where Sarkisian was more of like a running back emphasized guy. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It is what it is. But all right, so running back wise, Mr. Jay Ajayi, who actually won a Super Bowl, but still wasn't like successfully fantasy relevant based on where he was being drafted.
Right.
My number one
Yeah.
pick.
I was going to say he was drafted by someone in this room.
And Mike Evans.
Again, he came in as preseason ranked number 7.
It's trash.
You were supposed to draft him right there, right?
Right.
He finished 33rd.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
Besides those couple big runs when he was at Philly, he really didn't do a whole lot all year.
No, guy, I harp on running backs, and they go from 7 to 33. That's rough.
It was bad.
Yeah, that's
And he was
tough.
the feature back. That was the thing. It wasn't like anybody else was getting the touches or anything within that offense in Miami. It was the offense in Miami run game wise was horrible.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. He only scored 2 touchdowns, and both of them came in Philadelphia.
So let me ask you this: do you think that the run game was awful in Miami, or do you just think that the running style of Jay Ajayi paired with the run game of Miami was horrible? Because Kenyon Drake
That's
pretty
what I
much
was gonna say.
lit it up as soon as he took off.
Kenyon Drake just burned it up.
Well, and it could be just Jay, like you said, in general, because really he didn't tear it up in Philadelphia. I mean,
Well-
the one touchdown game he had, it's when the game he scored 50-some points.
Well, he had that one run,
It was
his
like
first
a
game.
70-some yard run.
It was a fluke run. I mean, I don't want to say fluke. It was just
No, it was.
It was kind of a fluke thing where it wasn't like he did it.
He broke a big yard.
Right. So I don't know. My biggest thing with Jay Ajayi is you're still in Philly, and they still have Clement. They still have I just drew a blank. I mean
Smallwood.
Smallwood.
Yep.
Thank you. They've got running backs still in that backfield competing. I mean, no, they're not Jay Ajayi's. They don't
Right.
hold the same as Jay Ajayi. But let's be honest, Corey Clement did very well in the Super Bowl in the playoffs specifically. So I mean, I just think that it's still a lot of mouths to feed in that backfield, and I just think that we're waiting to see Carson Wentz's return. Plus, we're also waiting to see what this new offensive coordinator looks like, because that's a lot of question marks. So where did you have him? Where do you have him at right now going in this year? Do you have that written down?
No, I think he's going to be right outside the top 20 even.
Okay, yeah, because I think consistency wise, I think we all had him like somewhere around 20 to 25, just because it's still a lot of question marks for that backfield.
Yep.
Just a lot of mouths to feed and the uncertainty of the new coordinator. So, and then Terrell Pryor, shocker,
Talk about a fall from grace.
bad. I really had high hopes for him
He finished 2016 with the 18th overall wide receiver.
in a trash offense.
Okay.
Listen, 100,
He had 140-some targets, I think.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say. He's a product of Cleveland having no one else to throw to. So it was volume. It was all volume based. I mean, he had 136 fantasy points in standard leagues.
Yes.
You know what he finished with last year?
It's got to be less than 80.
30.
Okay, yeah. I believe it because, yeah, it's trash.
1 touchdown. I mean, he only played in 9 games. He went out because of injury.
30.
Yeah. He finished wide receiver 110.
Trash. Rumpke.
Ooh, that was bad.
Yeah.
That's bad. I mean, that's not just like bad, but that's bad. Plus, he was injured at one point.
Yeah, I mean,
But still, even when he was healthy, I guess, he still...
When he was healthy, he got benched in a game for
Yep.
Josh Dotson on a primetime game. Yeah, it was against either the Raiders or the Chiefs.
but when I was looking it up, I said he played in 9. He suited up for 11 though.
Yeah, he was benched for Josh Dotson. So
well, what do you know? All right. On to my guys. And I'm not claiming them as my guys, but the guys that I chose for this segment. Derek Carr is my quarterback. You've got Isaiah Crowell as my running back. And wide receiver, I brought out Martavis Bryant. Near and dear to my heart because I really thought he was going to be successful last year. And, well, let's just be honest. He pooped the bed and pooped it well. So
with the emergence of Juju didn't help either.
this is also true. So for Derek Carr, 2017 ADP came in as a quarterback 6, finished as the quarterback 19. 2018, I currently have him at 16, so towards the back end of the top quarterbacks. So I got him middle of the road. I don't really think he's that great. I don't really think he's that bad. I think you've seen the high, and I think you've seen his floor. I think you've seen the ceiling, I've seen his floor, and you're going to get one or the other. And I just, for safe purposes, I just put him in the middle region. So, but for last year, he was coming off from the 2016 season. He was coming off of almost 4,000 passing yards, 28 passing touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. And he returned pretty much the same exact lineup. That was the big thing coming into 2017 with Crabtree, Cooper, and that offensive line, which was really good that 2016 year. And they improved the tight end position with Cook, like you said, in beast mode. So, I mean, in theory, they made the team better. So, in theory, he should have been the same or better, but you didn't get that. So, my postseason fantasy football for him, he finished with just shy of 3,500 passing yards. So which is only 400 passing yards less, but he doubled it in interceptions. That was the big thing. He went from 6 to 13. So, I mean, he doubled and gave him an extra one. So, and then Amari Cooper, like you said, struggled all year. And like I said previously, he only had 3 great fantasy weeks that you could play him, and it never seemed like, besides week 1 when you were probably playing him for sure, week 7 to 16, you probably either was rolling the dice as a flex or praying because of bye week that you had to play him in your fantasy championship if you were in it. So, and then Crabtree struggled as well. He ended up only getting 10 plus fantasy points 4 times in 2017, where in 2016 he had 9. So he had half as many fantasy points, double-digit fantasy points, which Crabtree was the bread and butter of like those red zone touchdowns. And you really thought with bringing in Cook that would kind of help, like take some off of his plate, but you didn't think it was going to completely kill Crabtree's style.
And Jared Cook got all of them, just
pretty much. Yeah. So,
he was throwing to the guy who's not dropping it.
True.
Crabtree started dropping it.
He stopped, and then he went to Cook.
Going his way. That's what happened to Amari Cooper. He dropped the ball. Crabtree benefited from it. Crabtree starts dropping the ball. Cook's now benefiting from it.
Yeah. So I'm not excited about Derek Carr, and it's not because I don't think Derek Carr's not a good quarterback. I just don't know. There's a lot of question marks for that offense with Gruden specifically coming in. I just don't know what we're going to see. I think Gruden's going to be okay as a coach. I just don't know what that offense is going to look like. It's going to be changed. It's not going to be what we've seen in the past, I guess, is the best way. So
he went outside the fullback too. They said they want to go back to the old school style.
That's fine with me.
They got Doug Martin and Marshawn Lynch.
Right.
They also brought in Jordy.
True. So we'll see. He could. I think you've seen his. Like I said, you've seen his ceiling. You've seen his floor. Let's just hope that he more towards the ceiling. But running back, then I got Isaiah Crowell. He was the running back 12 preseason. Then he finished as running back 30. I've got him as a running back 36 right now with the Jets. It's not really, it doesn't, I don't know. He went from one poo-poo offense to another poo-poo offense, in my opinion. So he had the lead back role with potentially a top 5 O-line, the way that they built it. Hugh Jackson had made it very clear that they were going to be running the ball a lot due to the new rookie quarterback. So you thought this volume alone should make him successful. However, postseason, let's go ahead and put that in there. Duke Johnson seemed to be emerged as the running back to go to because of the game script. A lot of playing from behind. So he was getting a lot of snaps. An offensive line just never panned out as the solid group they expected it to be. And Crowell finished with 853 rushing yards and only 2 rushing touchdowns. Horrible. Horrible for the lead back at the beginning of the season.
You know what I was thinking? Is Crowell and Hyde kind of going to end up being the same thing? Crowell didn't catch the ball in the backfield. Hyde doesn't catch the ball in the backfield.
No.
Neither known for it. I mean,
now I think that they know what they're going to do. I think they're going to try to split. I think they're going to play Duke Johnson as the passing down, and I think they're going to play Carlos Hyde as your early down and or goal line guy.
But that's going to eat at Hyde's touches then.
I think Hyde is going to be production based. I don't think he's going to be a volume guy. I think he's going to have to be a touchdown dependent guy, is what he's going to end up being.
He's going to be Cleveland's version of Latavius Murray.
Right.
Yep.
It's just going to be touch.
Yep.
Hey, we're going to give you 5 touches this series, or the next 2 series we're going to get you 5 touches. What are you going to do with it? And that's it. Not exciting. So, and then the final one I've got is Martavis Bryant, finishing he started as a wide receiver 19 ADP wise, finished as the wide receiver 51. I've got him in the top. I got him at 30, so I'm trying to give him a little bit of credit. Preseason hype, social media showed videos of him in his offseason workouts. He just looked fluent out there. Pittsburgh's offense on paper was set to be a juggernaut, and he was slated to be the wide receiver 2 behind AB. So, however, Martavis and Big Ben never seemed to click both on and off the field, and there was all these issues and drama in the locker room supposedly. And then Juju Smith emerged as the wide receiver 2 in that offense. And then Martavis showed on the field that he just hadn't played football in a whole year. You could tell at times he just looked lost. I mean, he was running routes. You don't know if those were the routes called, I guess. I'm not trying to be mean, but it was just like what is the movie? I mean, I don't want to like date myself, but like Friends, when they have Phoebe and all them, it's the guys and the girls, and they're like, Rachel, just go. Rachel, just go deep. No, deep. Just keep going. Keep going farther.
Yeah,
so,
but Bryant's so talented, though. Like, I don't get it.
I don't know. You got all that talent, and he's actually even shed more weight and then in even more shape now as they showed him. So we'll see. But that's all I've got, and I just,
Listen, you guys surprised me. Alanis Morissette one show, and now Friends.
Hey, welcome to the 90s. Just saying. We did grow up in like the late 80s, or most of the 90s, though.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
I agree.
So, anything you guys want to say before we go?
No.
All right. Just tell you guys thanks again for listening and tuning in to today's show. Please check out our page, thehateful8ff.com, where you can check out the articles, apparel, and much more. Shout out to all of our writers that continue to put stuff out there. We appreciate you guys. And I know maybe we're biased, but I think they're top notch. But
Oh, for sure.
Definitely.
follow our personal accounts at jpickle th8ff, at jblackburn th8ff, and at ftrim th8ff. Don't forget to join the Average Joe Nation, which is going to be our Patreon account, and you can get your pre-order of the 2018 draft loadout, as well as once the season rolls in, you get your weekly help. So, anything?
Nope. I'm
All right.
good.
See you next week.
All right,
Yep.
we'll see you guys next week.
One more time. There ain't no one like these three. You know you just heard Pickle, Blackburn, and Trimboli. Get the goods talking about nothing but fantasy football. Yeah, it's your year to dominate and to wear that ring. Prepare for the draft and dial in on your craft. Quarterback, the first round is a good choice, you ask? This guy's got first round pick, a favorite? Not so fast. He failed to tune into Hateful Eight. He's a chump finishing last.